You know, for the longest time, choosing a back-end language was basically a holy war. But the whole landscape in 2026, it's completely different. The old kings, well, they've learned some seriously new tricks, and the young challengers are more grown up than ever. So today we are cutting through all the noise to finally settle the score. Java versus Go versus Kotlin.
So, who actually takes the crown in 2026? Is it the established enterprise champion, the lightning-fast cloud challenger, or the clever pragmatist that kind of plays both sides? This is the ultimate showdown for back-end supremacy. Let's meet our fighters.
First up, in this corner, we have Java. For what, over 2 decades now, it's been the undisputed titan of the enterprise. We're talking banks, insurance companies, massive e-commerce platforms. Java's entire reputation is built on stability, reliability, and an ecosystem so huge you can't even see the edges. It's the safe, proven choice, the OG.
And in the other corner, we have the challenger, built by Google specifically for the modern era, Go. I mean, this thing was designed from the ground up for speed, simplicity, and the cloud. It powers the very tools that define DevOps today. Think Docker, Kubernetes, Prometheus. It's lean, it's fast, and it was practically born to run microservices.
And our third contender is Kotlin, the modern pragmatist. It came out of JetBrains, and here's the kicker. It runs on the exact same Java virtual machine. That gives it 100% interoperability with Java. But it swoops in and fixes all the things that drove Java developers crazy for years with a much cleaner, safer syntax. So think of it less as a revolution and more like a really smart upgrade.
All right, it's time for round 1, performance. We're talking raw speed, runtime efficiency. This is where the benchmarks do all the talking. Let's see what they say.
Okay, so the 2026 benchmarks tell a really nuanced story. When you look at I/O throughput, handling stuff like network requests, it's basically a statistical tie. But for pure number crunching, CPU-heavy tasks, Java actually pulls ahead. Kind of surprising, right? But on the flip side, Go gives you more stable latency, and it absolutely crushes Java on idle memory usage, which is a total game changer for running tons of tiny microservices.
So really, they're optimized for 2 totally different races. Go is the sprinter. It starts up instantly, which makes it perfect for serverless functions that need to pop into existence and scale in a flash. Java, though, is the marathon runner. It has that slower warm-up, but once the JVM's JIT compiler, that's its just-in-time compiler, which, get this, cleverly optimizes your code as it's running. Once that thing kicks in, Java becomes an absolute performance beast for those big, complex, long-running enterprise apps.
And that brings us to round 2. And honestly, this is where the real fight begins. I need you to forget everything you thought you knew about concurrency because things have changed.
For years, Go's dominance in this area came down to one single beautiful thing, the Go routine. You can think of it as an incredibly cheap, super lightweight thread. But instead of being managed by the operating system, which is slow and heavy, they're all managed by the Go runtime itself. That means you can spin up hundreds of thousands, even millions of them without your system even breaking a sweat.
And the beauty of it was just how simple it was. Launching a whole new concurrent task was literally as easy as typing the word Go before a function name. That's it. This elegance made building these massively scalable systems feel almost effortless.
And that was the classic divide, right? Java's model was powerful, for sure, but it was complex. It forced you to manually manage these heavy OS threads, configure complicated thread pools, and deal with all these painful locks. Go, by contrast, just felt natural. It was intuitive. This was Go's killer feature. Full stop.
Until now. Because with Project Loom, Java introduced virtual threads, and it is a complete and total game changer. Java now uses the exact same model as Go. It runs millions of these cheap, lightweight virtual threads on top of just a few of those old, expensive OS threads. So when a virtual thread blocks on something, the JVM just swaps it out for another one. Sound familiar? It absolutely should.
And the result of this is just stunning. As one 2026 analysis put it, the performance gap in concurrency has effectively vanished. Just gone. Java can now handle these massive, I/O-heavy workloads with pretty much the same efficiency as Go, completely neutralizing Go's biggest historical advantage. That is a massive comeback story.
So, if Java has now neutralized Go's biggest advantage, the fight moves to a completely different arena. Welcome to round 3, ecosystem and tooling. We're talking libraries, frameworks, and decades of community support.
To really understand the sheer scale of Java's ecosystem, you only need to know one name:
Spring Boot. If you look at the data from Maven Central, Java-based Spring projects account for about 500 million downloads a year, 500 million. Kotlin, its closest JVM cousin, sits at around 30 million. I mean, it's not even a contest. The gravity of Java's ecosystem is just immense.
And this really shows a core philosophical difference between them. The JVM world of Java and Kotlin, it's like a battleship. It's massive, it's mature, it's got this battle-tested ecosystem for literally everything you could imagine. It's the safe choice for enterprise. Go, on the other hand, is a speedboat. It has this minimalist philosophy, a powerful but very focused standard library, and it's the absolute darling of the DevOps world because of its simplicity and single binary deployments.
All right, for our final round, let's talk about something that matters to pretty much everyone watching: jobs and money.
So the 2026 senior salary data for the EU shows a really clear pattern. Java and Kotlin, they basically anchor the enterprise and fintech markets with really strong, very similar salary bands. But look at Go. It commands a significant premium with top-end salaries pushing 155,000 euros for specialized roles, usually in infrastructure at big scale-ups or high-frequency trading firms.
And this reveals the core trade-off for your career. Java and Kotlin offer the broadest access to the job market, just the highest volume of roles, period. They're your direct route into established banks and large EU enterprises. Go, on the other hand, offers the premium paycheck. The market is definitely narrower, it's more competitive, but the rewards are higher if you've got the skills they're looking for.
So after all the rounds, after all the data, what's the final verdict? Well, it's not about which language is best. It's about which fighter is right for your specific battle.
So here it is, the final breakdown. Choose Go if you're building cloud-native microservices and you value simplicity and that raw startup speed above everything else. Choose Kotlin if you're already in the Java ecosystem, especially on Android, and you just want a modern syntax with that perfect interoperability. And choose Java if you're building a massive, mission-critical enterprise system, you need its unparalleled ecosystem, and now you want Go-like concurrency right there on the JVM.
Which brings us to our final question. For years, Java was seen as the powerful but slow old incumbent. But now, with virtual threads, it has completely reinvented itself to compete head-on with its most modern challengers. So, I'll leave you with this. Is this the greatest comeback story in modern programming? Let me know what you think down below.